another Saturday night, which is the loneliest night of the week.
And I don't got nobody.
No, please, no silly references.
Well, you're the one that started it.
I didn't start it.
You said another Saturday night.
Oh, and I said it's the loneliest night of the week, too.
Oh.
What a fucking hypocrite. I mean me, of course, not you. All right.
It means not a twit.
It means not a twit. There's no twit involved.
It's not a twaddle or a twit.
No twit.
So,
Yeah.
tell me. Where did you get the
See,
monkey
how we
fur?
got 28 minutes and 48 seconds, 47 seconds, 46. What?
Where'd you get the monkey fur?
You bought it.
Pretty nice.
Oh God.
Okay, are you gonna talk, or are you just gonna sit there and
I'm talking.
and have a conversation with your navel?
I'm talking. What do you want me to do? Don't
Okay,
make this being a fight in the car later?
No. What? There was never a fight in the car.
Yes, there was.
Okay, there was one fight in the car 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now every single thing is a fight in the car.
I don't think this would be what am I doing wrong? What's the difference? We're just
Nothing.
filling time because
There's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, where's your buddy? Where's Tim?
kind of tired of all this stuff I'm trying to do and trying to push through, and year after year after year trying to push things through, and just I'm kind of fed up with it.
Well, there's been 5 years of no pushing things through. So
No, yeah, I was pushing things through. We had a lot of effort to move to cities where we didn't know anybody and live there. It's a lot of effort.
there was a lot of effort. You're right.
A ton of effort. There was more effort than there is now. I mean, in terms of, that's a lot of effort to do that. But
So are you nostalgic now?
no. I just, I'm just worn out. I'm tired of trying and just keep trying.
So what's the alternative?
I mean, certain hobbies I will stop doing, because if they're not going anywhere, then they're not really. Because the whole point of the hobby is supposed to have some fun with it, but once you don't have any fun with it,
what about adjusting the hobby?
nah, I'm gonna throw away all these hobbies except keep 2 of them. I can't see doing any of the other stuff anymore.
Well,
Actually, I'm keeping one of the hobbies. That's my official decision right now. Just one hobby is being kept.
right now what you're doing is you're throwing, this is what they say, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, I am throwing the baby out the bathwater.
Maybe you should just try to accumulate some more responsible friends who show up when they're supposed to.
Well, I mean, I didn't come for 2 weeks because I was sick, and it was snowstorm, minor snowstorm. So I mean,
well, you couldn't have gone to the living room the day you were sick.
Right. No, I'm not.
And you wouldn't have said to anybody that you were going someplace tomorrow morning.
No. Well, I mean, it's not even that. It's just it's like kind of like what Dick Cavett said. Dick Cavett said, he's a real depressive kind of guy. He has some kind of one of those diagnosed by psychiatrists depressions where he can't get out of it. Even if when they put him on drugs, he just can't. He can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I was. He had a real career and he was doing something. I can't even. Well, it doesn't matter.
Wow. That's a great story. I'm flabbergasted. I'm mesmerized. Tell me more about Dick Cavett.
He was born in Nebraska.
Was he?
And his garbage man was that serial killer.
You had a serial killer garbage man?
Charlie Starkweather. His garbage man was Charlie Starkweather, who was a serial killer.
Wait a minute. Now, this is
Dick Cavett.'s garbage man. When he was a kid, when he was growing up, and I'm giving you the whole Dick Cavett story.
Okay.
So that was Charlie Starkweather was his garbage man, and the local magician, this guy in his 20s, was Johnny Carson, and he was a local magician in Nebraska.
Wow, they must have had something in the water there, huh?
Well, it just happened. It was just I'm just saying it just happened. Like anyone growing up anywhere might know one or two, sometimes zero, but maybe they might know one or two famous people or somewhat famous people. I mean, Charlie Starkweather's not as famous as Johnny, right? So
no,
you don't know what Charlie Starkweather looks like, probably. So
no.
All right.
I wish I did. Is he still alive?
No, they put him to death for serial killing.
Well,
the
then
state.
I don't really care what he looks like then.
Well, he doesn't look like anything. He's dead.
I don't have to look out for him over my shoulder or anything like that. So, is this going to lead to, you're going to spend like a couple weeks in bed now?
Oh, I ever spent a couple weeks in bed?
No, not technically.
Well, there you go then. So that answers that question. Next.
Well, I mean, the notion that you would rather be in bed. I've seen that happen.
Oh, rather be in bed. Well, you said that today. You'd rather be in bed, and then we were in bed for a while.
That's true. We had a nice restful day.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of sick of fighting all these battles all the time. It's like one battle after another after another.
So do you feel that by these people not showing up, this is a battle you're fighting?
No, I mean, I just, it's like I said, I didn't come because I was sick and the weather was bad. So, other people, they don't have to come. I thought it was a good idea to have a regular gang of people, And, I asked 6 people to be the regular gang, and 5 of them said yes. I realize now that they were just saying,
Well, perhaps we should have let them know we were coming today.
No, it's on every Saturday. It's a regular gang thing. That's the whole point. You don't have to tell anyone you're coming.
It's but because we didn't come the last 2 weeks, maybe that.
Yeah, I know. You're trying to tell me it's my fault now.
I didn't say it was your fault. I said
no, it's fine. I mean, I'm just...
That maybe they needed a reminder.
Yeah, well, I'm so fucking sick of fucking reminding fucking people about things they fucking should know. I mean, that's, I don't want to remind anyone anymore.
You don't want to
so sick of reminding people. That's why, the whole point is reminding people. It's like, even when people, of course, this thing has nothing to do with it, but even when people think they want to do something, they don't really want to do it. I mean, you're kicking and dragging them all over the place. It's just, I can't. Well, I'm just going down to one hobby. That's my final.
It's always like verdict. I said the other day.
I know, darkest before the dawn.
No,
I know.
No, I didn't say that.
It's always darkest before the dawn.
It's not what
I've heard that a fucking million times. It's always darkest before the dawn.
They have to want it more than you do.
They have to want it more than me.
You can't want it more than them.
I can't want it more than them.
And if you do, then it's not theirs; it's yours.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, the Gwen thing with the...
That wasn't... I didn't do it, Gwen. It was Joe Rosler. We're going to reschedule that. I mean, I could reschedule it, but do I really want to ask Joe Rosler again to reschedule? I mean, who cares?
Then you're right.
Why am I rescheduling for... Well, why am I scheduling something they're not calling each other, but I'm scheduling? Well, here's what it was. I was trying to push them together because,
You thought it would be work for everybody.
I thought it would work for everybody, but no one wanted to call anybody else. They wanted me to call... I get a lot of that in my life, where people are interested in things as long as I call everyone involved, or whatever, contact everyone involved. I don't really feel like contacting everybody anymore, though.
So what's the alternative to not contacting people? Not doing projects?
Yeah, I just want to do one project now. I'm going to go with one project and one project only.
Just The Catcher in the Rye?
Of course. It's the only great one we have, right? And we don't have any other good ones that are at the same level.
Well, it's true, but,
yeah.
I mean, that's dependent on other people as well, though.
Yeah, but we haven't had any problems. They've just both been busy with the Comic-Con and with the plays. Now we're not busy anymore, so we're ready to go. I think it'll be good. You know, I don't know. It's hard to, and it's like I'm always trying to explain myself to people, and other people are always trying to explain themselves to me, and it's just I'm so sick of the explaining.
Why do you feel the need to explain?
I feel the need to explain because whatever I say something to anybody, they always ask me, what the fuck are you talking about?
I gotcha.
So that's the key there. I mean, we don't understand each other, and there's no, people are. Even I was talking to my one friend this week, and he said that if people start talking about something and he knows something about it, he'll chime in. And he says invariably, they don't want him to chime in with his knowledge of the situation. They want him to just parrot what they just said, so they can continue on. Like say, yeah, I feel the same way. You got a good point there. I also know about that, and not give his knowledge. So. So
well,
I don't know. I'm sick of I'm sick of explaining myself all the time, having to, and everything is based on you got to try to appease the other fucking person. I'm so sick of fucking appeasement. It's like you got someone who's it's always about will you do this the way I want it to be done? Will you do this the way I want it to be done? Everyone wants everything on their own terms. It makes sense, but unfortunately, that's the crux of life, I think, is that every human being wants things on their terms, and hardly ever do the terms of your terms and their terms mingle together. That's what I think it all comes down to. They don't really mingle together,
So then what
It's hardly
happens
ever
with
mingled together.
Collaboration.
Collaboration's very hard because things don't mingle together. You know how it is, even when we both know for a fact, of course, that when people collaborate in a money setting, like finances, or obviously, money setting finances, or they're collaborating artistically, it doesn't even matter if they're making money or it's their job or it's their career, or even if it's a good job or career to people on the outside, they still have problems collaborating, So it's not just people who are doing things as hobbies for collaboration. It's also people who are doing things for, why do relationships almost always fail? Because everyone wants their way. They don't want they don't want the other person's way. That's why they say, I'm sick of you. We're getting divorced or we're breaking up. Why do friendships break up? Why do relationships break up?
This is a hell of a way to tell me.
No, I mean our relationship is fine, and we'll do the one hobby. I guess we can do two hobbies. I don't know if it. I mean, it just seems like it's too.
So what would it take to get you back on board with this hobby?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just come next week and see what happens, But I think what Tim said before was that and not what I think Tim said. Tim said it several times already. This is fun, but we need to have some guests, right? Mm-hmm. And my whole point of doing
get some guests.
Huh?
I.e., he means for you to get some guests. He's not.
Right. He wants me to get some guests, and I don't. But my whole point of doing the thing was not to get any guests.
Right.
And that's not going to work out, as we can see. So, I mean, probably Tim will be here next week, and probably I'll be here next week, and then he and I will talk to each other. And
well, what if we?
But I mean, I don't really.
What if we take it to the next step and just put a all points bulletin out there for people?
That's meaningless. That's like saying that's totally meaningless. I've already told dozens of people we're doing it every Saturday, and everyone looks at me like, yeah. So you're doing it every Saturday. What do you want, a medal? I don't even get that out of them, actually.
Or maybe people need the,
I can't do it anymore. I can't. I did it for 48 years. I did it for 43 years. That's good enough. I mean, I can't do it anymore. So I don't know. I guess everything will be fine. It'll be me and Tim next week, and then he'll complain about how there's no guests, and I'll say, yeah, that's right. Why don't you get somebody? I don't know. I mean, it's constantly explaining myself about every fucking little thing. I'm just constantly explaining. What do people do with each other when they have conversations? They explain. You know, you can think about all the people we have conversations with.
Now, just
And
why
they
does
just
the
always,
why
it's
does
always,
the
everyone's explaining. Like, for instance, even when we were in Miami, right, and we had your friend Sandra, and she would say, her whole conversation was, I'm going to explain to you that I talk to dead people. I'm going to explain to you that I astral project to Israel, you know, that kind of thing, right? She was always explaining stuff to me, right? And and it doesn't. It's not just. It's not like because we live in Buffalo, New York, and we.
So what other form of conversation, what other form can conversation take besides somebody expounding on their ideas and explaining them to each other?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think conversation sucks.
Really?
I've realized
When
it.
did this happen? This is
Today.
just today?
I just-
Today you made this decision?
It's no.
After many years of
48
us
years of
agreeing
conversations.
that conversation is probably one of the best, the finest joys of humanity.
I
now
never
you've
said that.
Decided
You're
that.
overstating it. But
Well, but perhaps I don't know. I'm
I don't know.
explaining
I mean,
myself.
yeah, I'm so sick of having
Right, so
everything has to be
are you going
explained.
to join a cloistered monastery?
No.
Will you ever speak again?
Well, have I stopped speaking? What
Not
kind
yet.
of question is that? Will I ever speak again? Am I speaking now?
You're speaking.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't want to speak, I wouldn't be speaking, would I? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
So how will your
I'm
speech?
sick of tired of having to try to drag myself up to some level of you know, neutrality or positivity. I'm sick of it. It's just like one thing after another after another. You know, it's like practically everybody I talk to, it's like, oh, I wish I was younger. Because I talk to all old people, you know, and most of them, you know, not Richard Wicker, of course, but most people are like, oh, I wish I was younger. Oh, I remember the good old days of the 60s, you know.
Well, I don't necessarily.
The 70s, the
I don't
80s,
necessarily
the
feel like that.
No, not you and, no, of course, not you and Richard.
Except for the pain thing. I wish.
Well, I mean, that counts.
But
I mean,
but it's not because I'm old. It's because I injured myself.
yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, okay. Well, maybe not you and Richard, but I mean, other people. I mean, it's like what I hear from people is, oh, I don't have the enthusiasm I used to have. Everything's a pale imitation of the old days. I hear, you know, I like the 90s, I like the 80s, I like the 70s, I like, you know, my mother said she liked the 40s. And she said the last 60 years have been downhill. She liked the 40s.
Well,
the 1940s. Tim says he likes the 1990s,
Yeah,
and then
but
it's
I mean,
been downhill for 20 years. My mother says the 40s, been downhill for 60 years.
I got a good thing. Everybody
There's
that
no such
feels
thing as a good
everybody
thing.
that feels that way should have to go through a really serious physical interruption in their life, and then they would get some enthusiasm for life back when they felt better.
Well, you know, I mean, you can only, you know,
Let's maim people.
what?
Let's maim people.
Let's maim them.
Yes, just for a brief period of time. Let's just tie up their legs or something.
Oh, that's not really maiming them.
No, well, we'll make them.
You want to look in the
immobile.
dictionary. I know you don't use a dictionary usually.
At
but
first, I was thinking maim, and then I thought, well, we can
tame them is more like it.
bring it down to just tying them up for several months at a time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just, you know.
So your life is a living hell.
My life is a living hell. It's a good question. I'll take that question off the air, Johnny. Is my life a living hell? I like. There's certain things I like a lot. Our relationship I like a lot. I like our cat a lot, George. I like all my friends a lot in Buffalo. A couple of them that aren't even in Buffalo. I like movies a lot. I like rock music a little. I like doing the Bad Ronald Band. I like seeing. I like hearing. I like having 4 limbs. I like being 48 rather than like your mother when she died when she was 90. I like that. That, you know, relatively young in comparison to 90.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like sports talk radio. I like
You kind of
the
like your
internet.
job now.
I like my job. I do like completely like. I like my job a lot. Yeah, I completely like my job. I like doing saracki and sterlace every week here. It's very, it's very enjoyable being here with Tim and Renee, and the whole gang.
Maybe Tim and Renee have astro projected here.
Maybe they are in the room. And
Renee, how do you feel about that? No, she's not here.
I mean, it's like all it is a constant battle just to try to keep my head above water for almost 5 decades now. I'm just that whole explaining things and asking people for favors. Ask for a favor, explain something. Ask for a favor, explain something. Ask for a favor, explain something. And then the third thing is, besides asking for favors and explaining something, doing favors. People want these really tiny favors. Do this, do that on their terms, and you're supposed to go, oh yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, on your terms.
What would you choose as a way of living if all of those things were, you would change it? I mean, what would you decide to do? Just sit still in space and...
No, I'm just saying I'm going to try to cut down on explaining and asking for favors and doing favors. Those are the 3 key elements of existence. And when you minimalize out of that, then is it minimize or minimalize? There's no such thing as minimalize, is there?
I have no idea.
That doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking
Minimize
about.
when you
minimize that minimize. I don't know. I'm just this whole idea of having to constantly explain yourself. Often explain yourself. You often have to do favors. That's what basically what life is. If you're not autonomous like Wicca, then you have to do favors for people you don't want to do favors for. Ask for favors you don't want to ask for.
But doesn't it?
And then you got to explain yourself.
Doesn't it give you a small sense of of satisfaction to help people with something?
To help people with something. No, I like helping people if it's on my terms.
Well, that's helping you then, isn't it?
Yeah, but I admit that it's helping me. I said, I want to help you to help me. It makes me feel good to help you. That's why I'm helping you so I can help me. I'm not doing it to help you. I'm doing it to help me.
So you don't get satisfaction out of doing something just to be helpful to someone else.
No, not really. But I especially don't enjoy asking for favors, and I especially don't enjoy explaining myself. I'm sick of explaining myself. And everybody's in society, it's such a nonstop day-to-day barrage of, how you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How's it going? How's it feeling? How you doing?
Yeah, but that's not really a question. All they expect from you, they don't really want to hear how you feel. They just want...
that's even worse.
They just want you to say, great. That's it. I mean...
That's what Jim Rome says. He says you should just say great to that whenever no matter if someone, your dog just died, just say great.
It's the worst feeling in the world when you actually tell somebody how you feel and they give you that blank look like, how am I supposed to respond now? Yeah. And that's what happens. I mean, somebody asked me, I think it was John down the street. John. He said, how do you feel? And I told him, and he was like, oh, okay, bye. And it was a little awkward for me, and I know it was awkward for him. I figured I may as well tell him. I just limped to the door. I might as well tell him how I feel if he asks. Yeah. That was the wrong answer. I should have just said, great, fine, thanks, bye. Yeah. And he wouldn't have given me that deer in the headlights look on his face, like what the hell? What do I say now? Yeah, okay.
No, but I notice almost every conversation I have is basically an explanation. I'm explaining. It's so draining to keep explaining,
All right. So, for instance,
I'm sick of explaining
what's
stuff.
a good entree into a conversation? Then somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Greg, how you doing?"
I'm going to have to cut back in conversations. I guess that's what I'm saying.
And then you say,
"I can't do any more of these conversation things. They're just."
Oh, that's a real conversation exciter.
sick of having these conversations. They just go round and round and round and round, and where they stop, nobody knows.
So you're not getting any joy from interaction with other human beings these days.
I've only been interacting with you lately, so that's joyful. But I mean, other than that, there's, it's just like there's a lot of text saying I'm sick and I'm shopping, and I'm telling them I'm sick and I'm the snow's too heavy, and I don't know. I mean, it's so tired of having to try to get my head together and try to, it's like.
So what over the next 24 hours, how are you going to make your life different?
I'm not. You can't make your life different. It's always the same. It's just the same old thing,
Of course
day
you
in,
can.
day out.
Look what we did.
day out.
We picked up and we moved for 5 years. Of course you can make your life different.
Yeah, that was different. Now we're back in Buffalo Hall.
So I mean, you can stop using technology.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't want to stop using technology. I like technology.
Okay, so
Technology's great. I need more technology.
so you want to separate yourself from people through technology.
I'm.
So to you, a text, a
I
five.
hate texting.
Well, that's what I mean. Like that's technology, right?
Oh, is that what you mean? Just to get rid of texting? Yeah, I would get rid of texting. I don't like texting. I prefer not texting.
But then you have to get rid of John.
John. Well, I mean, everyone has their thing they want, the way they like to communicate nowadays. And some people like emailing, some people like text. I mean, they all have the one way they like doing it. They don't want you to do it the other way that they don't like.
So if you had to go and spend the rest of your life and only had 5 people, who would those 5 people be?
What does that mean? Like I'm on an island with 5 people?
Or just you have to cut off communication with everybody except 5 people?
What about all the going to the store and that kind of thing? Am I going to say?
I mean,
You
running
know,
into people accidentally?
No. Well, yeah. Well, but what
No,
about?
I mean this is a fantasy. All those people are just going to poof out of the world, except for the 5 people that you want to.
Oh, this is a fantasy?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in fantasies.
You don't want to play my game.
I don't see any point to it.
Well,
It's pointless.
I'm just curious. You have a lot of you have a lot of connections with people that, and I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I could easily cut it down to 5 people.
Yeah, you don't care about people.
Not really, no.
That is kind of antisocial, not caring about people.
No, it's not that I don't care about them.
You just said you didn't.
If they were bleeding in the street, I would take care of them.
Stop. You're right. If someone's bleeding in the street, you'll take care of them. But other than that, you don't care about them.
But I mean, there's a lot of people. If I never saw them again, it wouldn't make any difference to me.
Yeah.
I'm self-defined. This might be the reason you're feeling so down because of this. Is you're not self-defined.
You're right. You're self-defined. I'm not self-defined. That's true. I don't know. I mean, I feel okay. I feel all right.
You're dressed in your jacket in Richard's house, and you've got your hood on,
Yeah.
and you're very
But I'm happy though.
You don't seem happy.
But I am happy.
I gotta say, if I were to look at this show and see,
I'm happy.
I think the last word I would use to describe the person on the screen is happy.
I am happy as a clam.
Happy clam. Clams are happy.
I don't know. I'm happy though. Yes, I'm very, very happy. Why wouldn't I not be happy? Everything's so beautiful.
You look fabulously happy right there.
I like looking at the clock. It's fun.
I bet it is.
Okay.
So what would it take to
Sorry, we're running out of time, Paula.
put you into a happy place?
I'm happy. I just said I'm happy. God damn it. That's it, Richard. We're done. We're done, Richard.